electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
All right, Scotty. Appreciate it very much. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX with producer Drew Young, Tom Ackerman. We are here until noon, big 11 o'clock hour. We go all Super Bowl. We're going to hear what I thought was a great interview with a referee in the NFL, Joe LaRue, friend of mine, member of the 1-2-3 Club. If you don't know what that is, it's an old club that meets for lunch every other Monday that Bob Bragg started back in the day. Joe LaRue is in that club. He's an awesome guy. Hancock and Kelly interviewed him for a good 2 segments, and I think it's so good that I want to replay it here, getting you ready for the Super Bowl. So we're going to do that coming out of the gate in the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to hear from Kurt Warner, who visited with our Joe Roderick. Joe is a credentialed member of the media on behalf of KMOX. He is there in Las Vegas covering Super Bowl 58. We'll hear from one of the greatest to ever do it in Kurt Warner. And then we'll wrap with a celebrity picker, Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes, the president of McKelvey Homes, and his son Phil. They will pick here on KMOX, along with me, the Super Bowl. So you have to wait until that, unless you heard me at 7:45 this morning with Scott Jagow, in which I did give my pick at that time. But I will wait until the 11:40 segment today to give my pick on the Super Bowl. It is 49ers by 2. That's the spread. That has not moved as far as I can tell this morning. The over-under is 47.5. And there are thousands of prop bets that you can decide from, of course, which is always fun. But you can't do that here in the state of Missouri legally. You have to be in Illinois. I know it's kind of silly, but it is what it is. The other thing is that we have Travis Ford on the show today. We have hockey to talk about. We have Cardinal baseball, which starts in 2 days. A lot happening around here. And college hoops in general not going well right now, except for 10th ranked Illinois. And then in the Missouri Valley Conference, really good teams at the top in Indiana State and Drake. And I think those 2 teams get into the tournament. If Drake, let's say Drake wins Arch Madness, Indiana State's in. If Indiana State wins Arch Madness, I don't know if Drake is in, but Indiana State to me is a lock as an at-large. They're 22-3. And that's not going to slip. Their net rating of 20 is not going to slip that much if they lose another game, because it's the Valley. The Valley's good. These teams are good. I mean, so if the committee does not put Indiana State in the tournament as an at-large, it's an absolute joke and a farce. I mean, they're phenomenal. My prediction is the selection committee will put them in the same region as Purdue, the Midwest, as an 8-9, and Purdue will have to face them in the second round. And I got to tell you, as good as Purdue is, and believe me, I went to Indiana. They smoked my team last night, 79-59. Indiana State will give them trouble. I mean, they can run. They play an incredibly fast-paced offense in the half court. They shoot the lights out. They're one of the top three-point shooting teams in America. I'm going to just remember that I said this at 10:09 on Super Bowl Sunday, that Indiana State is dangerous in March. Dangerous. And this is after just a 2-point win over Missouri State. They went on the road against a hot Missouri State team and beat them. But when they're at full throttle, they are very difficult to handle. So that's that. Now, here's the other bone I have to pick with a committee. What an absolute joke it is that Torrey Holt is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. How much more do you need to know about Torrey Holt? I mean, the story's been told over and over. As a rookie, he caught a Super Bowl touchdown catch and was a member of the greatest show on turf. But it's just part of the story. I saw Jim Thomas, and I love him to death, but tweet that what he's heard from voters is that they won't allow any other members of a one Super Bowl winning team in. What are you kidding me? I mean, are you paying attention? Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, of course, great members of that team, and Orlando Pace. And I understand. I mean, the greatness of those teams going forward, but you wouldn't put, and Dick Vermeil, the coach, you wouldn't put Torrey Holt in for that reason? Are you even paying attention to his career? This guy was racking up 1,000-yard seasons with Scott Linehan as his coach, for crying out loud. When the team started to fall, he's still dominating. He is one of the great receivers of his era. I mean, it's not even it shouldn't even be worth talking about. I mean, the fact that he's had to wait this long is enough of a joke. So this will be the 25th anniversary of the greatest show on turf coming up this year. If he doesn't get in the 2025 class, I don't know what they're looking at. The only thing I can think of is this is because St. Louis doesn't have a team anymore and that the fan base isn't going to rise up and get upset about it. They've just sort of forgotten about it. Like, don't worry about it. St. Louis doesn't have a team anymore. So let's just move on and talk about other Dallas Cowboys or whatever they want to do. It is so irritating. It really is. And by the way, Torrey Holt, all he did was do it right. Great guy, class act, good sportsmanship, great teammate. Everything that he did at the receiver position, great route runner, blocker, teammate. I mean, that's how they were taught. Isaac Bruce was a killer blocker. He's in the Hall of Fame. Great route runner, great runner after the catch. You ever see Torrey run after the catch? Incredible speed, separation. Nobody did it like him in his time. There were good receivers at that time, Andre Johnson and Terrell Owens and a lot of other ones. But Torrey Holt, for what he did from the 1999 season through 2009, I want to say was his last year, 2010, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, that final year, he still had for the Jaguars like 750 yards receiving, one after the other. You look at the numbers, receptions, yards, touchdowns, consistency, got himself on the field, which is a skill itself, made sure that he was available. I'm sorry that I'm starting the show with such a negative rant, but I'm so upset about Torrey Holt not being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really think that is a huge miss by the voters. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame is not the one that votes necessarily, but they should be ashamed too. In fact, everybody surrounding that. To not have Torrey Holt in the Hall of Fame is absolutely wrong. To make him sit there and wait every year is a joke. And you can't say that the NFL now, because it's a passing league, that receivers can't get in because their numbers are inflated. Not Torrey's. Not if you look at his career, he was doing it before it became a fad. And then he kept doing it, as I mentioned, for not good teams, to put it kindly. So I don't, that's it. That's I'm going to stop there. But it is extremely irritating. Now, as for the game itself today, the Chiefs are not even close to the greatest show on turf in terms of offensive output. But I'm not going to give my pick here, but I'm telling you the defense will win this game for either side. The Chiefs' defense is the reason that they are where they are. They have gotten this thing to this point, and then Mahomes works his magic because the game is kept close by Steve Spagnuolo's defense. Steve Spagnuolo, the former coach of the St. Louis Rams, found his niche. Defensive coordinator of the Giants, defensive coordinator of this Chiefs team. He wins Super Bowls wherever he goes. I'm excited for him. He's a good guy. Didn't go well here as a head coach, but he's a good guy. He knows the game, and Spags has this defense humming. And that 49ers defense is really good. They have great players all over the place. They're going to make it hard on the Chiefs, and Mahomes is going to be running for his life today. I think he can do it. I think he's a great scrambler, but they will be blanketing. They'll be all over Kelsey. Kelsey is going to try to figure out how to attack this defense, and he'll probably end up with 100 yards receiving and, 8, 9 receptions, 10 receptions. I don't know. But other than that, they're going to make it hard on the Chiefs to win it. That's why the Chiefs defense has got to be great and keep this game manageable and contain Christian McCaffrey. It will be a great football game between the 49ers and Chiefs. I see it no other way. I would be very surprised if this ended up being a blowout of any sort. We'll take a break. We'll come back, get into some college basketball, and we have a very special announcement about athletics coming to St. Louis in the college realm and beyond. That is on the way from Chris Roseman of the Sports Commission, who's going to call in here at 10:20. But we'll talk some college basketball in the next segment and then get you ready for Travis Ford, the head coach of the Billikens. Another heartbreaker for him yesterday. Really tough. Really, really tough. Back after this on KMOX.
When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get when you work with trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is Debbie Monterey, and selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. And that's why having an expert on your side is crucial. Other agents know that some sellers will choose the agent that tells them the highest price they can get for their home, and that can be a dangerous strategy. Most of the time, it ends up being empty promises. Gloria Lou doesn't make empty promises. She makes guarantees in writing. Gloria Lou will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it. Guaranteed in writing. So pick up the phone and call Gloria Lou, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Gloria Lou, your home sold guaranteed realty.
Fresh air freedom.
Fresh air freedom.
We're bringing you a big truckload of fresh air freedom.
It's been a while.
Clutter and junk have got you cornered.
Every time you turn around, there's more than there was before.
You barely have room to move.
You're so crowded, it's hard to breathe.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Your home is bigger than you think.
You don't need a new home.
You just need us to make the junk disappear from the one you've got.
All you have to do is point.
You're about to have a big home
A happy home.
where you can fill your lungs with fresh air freedom.
Now you've got room to fly.
Now you've got the breath to sing.
Now you've got the space to entertain.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Amy Mark Scores here, and I can see clearly thanks to the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, the doctors you should trust with your eyes. Call 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut. It's toothpaste? That's because the middle is the most important part. At Graybar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Graybar does that.
You know, have you heard all the talk about energy efficiency as far as gas appliances and electric and heat pumps and eliminating certain furnaces, certain air conditioners, now stoves? If you're in the market for a furnace and air conditioner this year and just want to cut through all the confusion and would like to talk with and discuss what's the differences between the products and just an overall common sense approach to what do you need for your house, what works, what won't work, what fits in your budget, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, the only number and an easy one. 314-293-2600 or online bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B and Inman with an I.com. God bless.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Welcome back to the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
We're back on the show. College basketball. Yesterday, I was watching Kentucky and Gonzaga, and it got me in the mood for the NCAA tournament. What fun that is going to be. And I know that our local teams, except for 10th-ranked Illinois, who lost yesterday to Michigan State, 88-80, won't hurt them too much. They'll be okay. It's a tough loss, I know. They want to go on the road and win. But remember, Michigan State is playing with desperation right now to try to get some wins under Tom Izzo and get themselves back into the tournament. They have had a bad year. But I loved that game between Kentucky and Gonzaga, in which Gonzaga ends up winning that contest. And the CBS Music and having Brad Nessler on the call and Bill Raftery and Jay Wright, It was just a great production and everything getting me ready for the game, including a great basketball game. Kentucky has a problem closing out games, drawing up plays at the end. They have a phenomenal player in Reed Shepherd, the young little guard, 21 points, 8 of 14 shooting. He hit all of his free throws. He made spectacular steals and blocks and plays, and he is a lot of fun to watch. But in the end, that team at Gonzaga is not ranked, but they still look like a top 5, top 10 team in the country, the way that they played yesterday at Rupp Arena. They opened up a 10-point lead at the half, and then they held off a Kentucky comeback, came back, took the lead again, and they won in Lexington 89-85 yesterday in one of the best games of the day. The other one was Kansas beating Baylor. Final was 64-61. Kansas is ranked 4th in the country. They extended a home winning streak to 18 games. But boy, Baylor came on strong. Hunter Dickinson had 15. Baylor got the ball with 14 seconds left, had a chance to tie it, but Jaden Nunn's three-pointer from the corner was short. Then after Nicholas Timberlake missed the front end of a 1-and-1, another three, this time by Jacoby Walter, fell just short, and Baylor loses the game 64-61. It was a slow, ugly kind of game as opposed to the Kentucky-Gonzaga game, but that's the way Baylor wanted to try to play and beat Kansas, and they couldn't do it. They turned the ball over 21 times against Kansas. That is not conducive to winning whatsoever. But the number one team in the country looks every bit like it. Georgetown hammered Georgetown. It's sad how far Georgetown has fallen. 89-64 was the final in that one. I really think that they are the best team in America, though, Connecticut. UConn is the defending national champion, and they look really great. I mentioned number 2, Purdue beating Indiana 79-59. Tough one for my alma mater, but Purdue is rolling right now. There's not many better than them right now. Number 3 in the nation, I love this North Carolina team. They had all they could handle, though, down in Miami. They won 75-72. I mentioned 4th-ranked Kansas. Some other teams to keep an eye on right now. Number 5, Houston, bounced back. They beat Cincinnati 67-62. I say bounce back because they got beat by Kansas last week at Allen, and they've come back with a couple of wins. Marquette is a team to keep an eye on. They're ranked 7th in the country. They'll sneak up on you again. Last year, they were my pick to win it all. I don't know if I'd go that far this year, but they beat Rick Pitino's St. John's team 86-75. Arizona is a team I've told you to watch out for. They're ranked 8th in the country. They smoked Colorado 99-79. Duke, I'm not sure what to make of right now. I think they're okay. I don't know if they have the killer instinct of some of these past Duke teams, but they took care of business. They beat BC 80-65. They're number 9 in the country. Number 10 is Illinois, and I mentioned they lost to Michigan State 88-80. There's another team that has fallen off the map, and that is number 11 Wisconsin. They got rolled by Rutgers on the road yesterday, 78-56. So they're going to take a steep fall in the rankings for sure. The local scores in college basketball, we'll run through those real quick. And we're going to talk to Travis Ford about this in about 10 minutes. St. Joseph's over SLU 87-86, 34 points for Sincere Parker. That's a career high, first player since Larry Hughes in 1998 to have back-to-back 30-point games. The Missouri Tigers are bad. Mississippi State just did whatever they wanted in Columbia. It's sad, actually, 75-51. Now, Dennis Gates' offense, I told you, is unwatchable. I've said that all year. So I'm not saying it just now. I said it at the beginning of the year. I don't like the way they play offense. That said, his recruiting class coming in is special. If they all stay, I'm assuming that they do. They should be fine in the coming years, but they've got to fix things in Columbia. It's not acceptable. I don't care who's on the floor. If you're wearing the Missouri uniform, you should not be 0-10 in the SEC. You just can't do it, which is what they are. They're 0-11, excuse me. They're 0-11 in the SEC, and the way they're playing, they're going to be 0-18. Also, in the Valley, I talked about Indiana State beating Missouri State. Southern Illinois is still very good, sneaky good. They could win the Arch Madness tournament here, 69-68 over Illinois State if they're firing on all cylinders. In the Ohio Valley, Lindenwood lost in overtime to Tennessee Tech. Tennessee State beat Southeast Missouri State, and Southern Indiana over SIUE. We got a few minutes for Chris Roseman of the St. Louis Sports Commission, who has been patiently waiting on the line. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you this morning?
I'm doing awesome. It's great to be along with you. And I know that these are very special times for the St. Louis Sports Commission, who have not only, these great major sports that we hear about and we have been talking about for a long time, but this Mizzou to the Lou has been fun to follow. And you've continued it with one of Mizzou's great programs, which is gymnastics. Tell us about what you've done in this partnership.
Yeah, so this weekend, this Friday, is the last in the series of the Mizzou to the Lou series, which is gymnastics, which we have Mizzou in Florida and Illinois and Lindenwood coming out to compete at Family Arena. And it's been such a great series that the Sports Commission has been able to work with the University of Missouri to put this together. That included, it started back in September. It was September 10th is when we hosted Mizzou versus Missouri State at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Had a great crowd out there. Then a couple of weeks later, we did, football, and we had Mizzou Memphis, and it was so great to see the crowds swell in downtown St. Louis to see college football return. And Mizzou come away with a win that propelled them through the rest of the season to get to the Cotton Bowl. What a great season that was. And then, of course, we had the Mizzou to the Lou duel, which we had Mizzou versus Illinois in wrestling the night before bragging rights. And Mizzou continued their winning streak by beating Illinois that night. And this Friday, we've got, like I said, gymnastics. And let's hope that we can go 4-0 in the series and have a great crowd on Friday night. The coach of Mizzou is Shannon Welker from St. Louis. What a great program that's been put together by Shannon and Missouri. It really is incredibly fun to watch for everybody. There's a reason why it is the most watched event at the Summer Olympics. Yeah, you look on Friday Night Heights that every Friday night SEC has these teams competing, and there's 8, 9, 10,000 fans in the stands watching women's gymnastics, which is just so cool. And what Shannon has done, being a St. Louis native and going to Columbia and keeping that team on the map and putting that team on the map. They've been to the regionals each of the last 3 years. He's really got that program humming, and it's going to be a great competition this Friday. And, a couple of weeks ago, LSU came into town, and LSU is a powerhouse in SEC gymnastics. And at Hearns Arena, and, in front of 7,000 plus, Mizzou upset LSU, and, let's see what happens Friday. Yeah, I mean, LSU, third in the country. They have all those great competitors, including the now global icon in Livy Dunn, who's going to end up being chasing down Taylor Swift as one of the most recognized people in the world. I'm going to tell you right now that she's already making hand over fist the money that's coming in and all the attention that LSU gets, and Mizzou comes in and beats them 12-3. So going back to Mizzou and this momentum that they're carrying right now, they've rolled in people. That has to make you happy that they had over 7,000 fans in Columbia for that matchup against LSU. Yeah, but the production value was just off the charts. I mean, Mizzou did a great job in just, making sure the place was packed, making sure the atmosphere was electric, and, the competition on the match or the apparatus, you don't know how that's going to go all the time, but they did such a wonderful job, and we really hope to copy that here at Family Arena this Friday. At 6:00 is when it all starts, and it's just really cool to see as they you're about halfway through the season, and they're going to get to April, and hopefully they have a good they're able to get to the national championships in Texas. Good to talk with you, buddy. I appreciate it. MizzouToTheLou.com. I love that you're doing this. Tickets range from as low as $10 to $35. You can also go to Ticketmaster.com to purchase the tickets directly, but I'd go to MizzouToTheLou.com and just read about everything so you're prepped and ready to go. Right, Chris? Righto. Thanks, Tom. Really appreciate you. Appreciate it. Sports Commission's Chris Roseman, what a job they do at the St. Louis Sports Commission. All they do, you know what they do, Drew? They better St. Louis through sports. That's what they do. I love it. I love what they've done, and I've loved it since I first met Frank Viverito 26 years ago. And Mark Schreiber and Chris Roseman and Tim Ryan and the whole crew over there, they do an excellent, excellent job. Amanda Lutz, I could go right down the line of all the people that do a wonderful job for that group. Let's take a break. When we come back, Travis Ford, head coach of the Billikens on KMOX.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get
the power of a cut above.
Decades of expertise to transform your home. From so-so to virtuoso.
The power of neighborhood painters.
We live where you live and probably like the same pizza place you do. Put
the power of pro
to work for you today. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Question. Are you a maintain it before it breaks person or a wait for a problem person? Get ahead of the game or just see what happens type? Well, if you're the practical, forward-thinking sort, then get this. For a limited time, the rock-solid fix-it-right guys at Jerry Kelly will come tune up and inspect your furnace for just $98. It's normally $143, and that's very little money for a lot of peace of mind. Check it out now at
JerryKelly.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today, the vote is in, and there's no need for a recount. I'm Jim Onder, and I want to thank you, the people of St. Louis, for acknowledging my team and Onder Law as STL Today's 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. As always, we will continue our mission to hold companies accountable, change the way they do business, and make St. Louis a safer place.
When you're injured, you need the best. Call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Royal Banks of Missouri is your community bank with locations throughout St. Louis, St. Charles, Northeast Missouri, Granite City, and Jerseyville, Illinois. A bank branch is not far away. Royal Banks brings in experienced staff and products and services designed to meet your professional and personal financial needs. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal opportunity lender. Looking for a new home or to refinance your current mortgage? Royal Banks of Missouri wants to be your home buying partner. With a local staff that will guide you through the process, Royal Banks is an experienced mortgage lender that you can trust. There's still time to lock in on a low rate. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC and equal opportunity lender.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Conversation with Travis Ford live on KMOX at 10:34, sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. Thank you. Good to be on.
Good to be with you as always. I just got I've got a game coming up this afternoon, two of them, in fact, and I got a few players out. And, you know, I actually thought of you, and I thought, because I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself, I thought, man, I'd love to have a full lineup. You know, what could we do with a full lineup? And I thought, this is what Travis deals with, what we talked about all season, is that you have an illness, you have an injury, you have this time of year in college basketball, it's just the way it is, isn't it? But you dealt with it early in the year.
It really is. You know, you get this time of year, most players are playing with, you know, kind of banged up with a hand. You know, you look, Larry Hughes has really been fighting through. He's got a thumb hand issue that he's been fighting through. And, you know, everybody's a little banged up, but that's part of it. No question. We've had our fair share, and you just kind of keep plugging along the best you can.
And then when Sincere Parker came back, this is what we're talking about. You know, that he had the ability to do great things. And I'll let people know ahead of time. The spoiler is that the SLU lost this game 87-86 to St. Joseph's, but it shouldn't diminish what Sincere Parker is doing here. He had 34 points yesterday. Just to put that in perspective, that's not only a career high for him, but nobody has had back-to-back 30-point games wearing a Billiken uniform since Larry Hughes in 1998. You'd have to go back that far. He is a special player, isn't he, Coach?
Yeah, you know, we saw obviously glimpses of it earlier in the year. You know, you take out a game that I didn't play much in the Lincoln game. He was averaging about 20 points a game before he got hurt in the fourth game. So, you know, that's what he does. We knew that preseason, and we kind of built the whole team, the identity and the style of play through the summer and through the preseason based on him obviously being able to score the ball the way he's capable doing. I think obviously he's rounding back into form a little bit, and it takes time when you sit out 2.5 months and you're not on the court at all. It takes a little bit of time to get back. But we've seen obviously glimpses of what we knew he could do and what he's capable of doing. But I also think everybody else is playing better. I mentioned Larry Hughes. I think he's playing his best basketball of the season right now, especially shooting the ball, scoring the ball. And, we've got, as we mentioned, the injury. We've had Mike Meadows, our starting point guard, who's been out a lot this year, but came back. Now he's been out again the last 3 games or so. And so Larry's had to play some more point guard position, which isn't his natural position, but he's doing a great job of helping us out there. But I think everybody's playing a little bit better. I think TJ Hargrove's played better the last couple of games. In the LaSalle game 2 games ago on the road when we won by 20, it was probably the first game that we had everyone played well. Everyone contributed. Everyone either scoring, rebounding, or whatever it may be. It was probably one of our better games of the year.
Yeah, it really was. SLU dropped 100 on that team and ended up winning a big game at LaSalle, and then 86 points against St. Joseph's, but comes up just short. 102-84 was the win at LaSalle, and then they lose 87-86 to St. Joseph's, and you came back from double-digit deficits twice. I always say there's 2 sides to those. It's great to come back, but you also have to think, how did we get here? And at the start of the game, I watched it, and they come out, hit 2 threes, and I thought, "Whoa, Travis not going to like that at all." And little did I know, I'm like, "Did he just call a timeout?" You called a timeout 56 seconds into the game. You were not pleased, I have to imagine, with the closeouts there.
No, not at all. You spend 2 days, all you talk about is don't give up threes. And we gave them wide open threes. It's one thing if they make tough threes. I can get that. But to give up wide open threes, it was, and add more excuses to it. One concern I had going into the game was the 11:30 start time, our time. I'm thinking, goodness. So trying to wake our team up a little bit. And we did. We came back and took, I think we got down whatever it was first half, but took a lead into the locker room, which was great. We had a lot of fight in us the last half of the first half. But it was a couple of things in yesterday's game. It was the beginning of the game, as you mentioned, Tom, and it was the beginning of the second half. Those were killers for us. We did not start very well either half. And then you lose by 1 point and you turn it over 22 times on the road. So you look at all the opportunities you could have had, but losing by 1. The same, no different than the Fordham game. We lose on a last-second shot, but we have 18, 19 turnovers. And it's not like the other team's turning it over a lot. So it's a big deficit we're trying to overcome. The turnovers have been a major, major issue for us, especially, in the losses.
Yeah, definitely. This is before I play this, I want to say that coming out of that timeout, I think it was about a minute later that Brad Oswero blocked a 3-pointer out of bounds. So they got the message, that's for sure. And as you said, you came alive twice and sent it down to this.
Dribbling, Parker, they try to foul him. Parker behind the back, he turned it over, and that's the ball game. They swarmed Parker. 3 guys swarmed at him, and he's down on the floor. He can't believe it. His teammates come to pick him up. And St. Joe's trying to keep pace with the top 4 teams in the conference, do just that with an 86-85 victory.
It's a tough one because, there's your star. You want the ball in his hands. It just, it's an opportunity that got away from you.
Yeah. I'd called timeout. The guy had 2 shots. We were up 1, 7 seconds to go, 8 seconds. And we're up 1 and we had 1 timeout left. So I knew I was going to call timeout after the second free throw to try to ice the free throw shooter a little bit, but also put in make sure they understood what we want to do to get the ball in bounds. And, we wanted to screen, get it out quickly, get a quick screen for Sincere. I was a little concerned would they double team him and not let him get the ball. So we were able to actually get him the ball. And that's what you want. You got a guy that scored 34 points. You try to get the ball in his hands. And, he 7 seconds, 8 seconds, you got plenty of time to get to the rim. Plenty of times I told him you can get to the rim. We don't have to pull up from half court. there's more than enough time, obviously. And, obviously, he tried to dribble through some traffic, trying to do a little too much, but hey, he'd done a lot at that point. So just unfortunate the way it ended.
Yeah, he really did. So you're going to be taking on VCU. And this is a different SLU team than faced VCU on January 19th. You lost that game on the road by a sizable margin. You lost another one at home to Davidson by a sizable margin. UMass got you by 9 or by 11, went to Loyola and lost. But this month, you mentioned the LaSalle game. After that narrow defeat by Fordham, you beat LaSalle. They escape, I would say, St. Joseph's against a surging SLU team. This Friday night at 6 o'clock, they're going to really hype this up. They want people to wear white. KMOX is involved in this. It's going to be like a blizzard-like condition inside Chaifetz Arena. This would be an opportunity for your program to put a stamp, get a signature win, and get you some momentum going into the A10 tournament, wouldn't it? Because, hey, this is kind of what you're trying to do here. Get to the A10 tournament, and who knows? I mean, make a little history.
Yeah, Tom, I talked to our team a little bit about this last night. You're exactly what you just said. Hopefully we're starting to play better basketball. I believe we are. I think our competitiveness and intent to compete at a high level, I've seen it over the last 2 to 3 games better than it was 3 weeks ago. And I told our team that. I was honest, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we weren't competing enough to even give ourselves a chance. Now, when you're a team that's trying to come from the bottom, work your way up, your error is very small. You have very small room for error. And that's why I tell them, as we're continuing to hopefully get better and try to climb, we can't turn it over 22 times. We can't take, if we took 7 bad shots, you got to eliminate 5 of those. Your room for error is very, very small in a lot of categories. And those are the things we got to eliminate now that we're competing, hopefully, at the level we need to. We were searching for that. We weren't competing at all. The guys didn't understand what it took to compete, and they're really doing that right now. Really proud of them. We just got to eliminate the mistakes in order for us to climb. And as I tell them, we've got probably the hottest team in the league coming in here Friday. I think they've won 9 of their last 10 games or something like that, and really, really playing well. But that's what you want. We need to. If we're going to continue to get better at this time and hopefully playing our best basketball this time of year, hopefully, you need good teams and you want to compete against the best. And they're one of the better teams in our league, especially the way they're playing now. That's what you want. We want to pack out Chaifetz, have a big night. It's a big Friday night game. So you're correct on all fronts that you want to play good competition in order to continue to get better and compete against the best and hopefully succeed against the best. But we've got to eliminate the mistakes that we can control and continue to compete the way we're competing.
Travis Ford, Sincere Parker, and the St. Louis Billikens playing on Friday night at Chaifetz Arena. Wear white to the game. Tell your friends. Get to the game. Great entertainment on a Friday night in Midtown. We'll have it on KMOX with a 5:45 pregame. I'll have the women's game on Wednesday, Valentine's Day, Loyola taking on the SLU women. That'll be on KMOX on Wednesday, and then we'll get you ready for the men's game on Friday. Of course, the coaches show, as always, that's coming up this Monday. That is at Humphreys in Midtown, and Travis Ford will be with Bob Ramsey for that one. We always appreciate it, Coach. Thank you for being with us on KMOX.
It's always my pleasure. Appreciate all you do and KMOX. Appreciate all y'all's support, and good luck in your games today. Go get them.
Thank you. Yeah, we got a pair. We're going to try to walk away with 2 wins today. Thanks, Coach.
There you go.
Great to visit with Travis Ford, head coach of the Billikens. We will take a quick break, come back, talk about the Blues. Blues breakdown. I'll tell you what, Blues are looking good. That was a good win over Buffalo. Really nice. 3-1 over the Sabres. They play here at noon. We'll preview it next.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at Zero Res, the best carpet cleaners I've ever seen. I use them all the time. All my friends and family have used them at one time or another. They are absolutely the real deal. February, the month of love. So when is the last time you gave your carpet and your family the love and attention that it really deserves? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? If you do get down on your hands and knees, I promise you, you're going to realize how truly dirty and kind of nasty that carpeting is. Not your fault. It's just the way life goes, and gravity takes everything bad down into that carpet. We will clean 3 rooms of carpeting for $119 plus a free hallway. And don't forget that Dirt and Dander's favorite hiding place is your air ducts. $50 off of your air duct cleaning during the month of February. Simply call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Make sure you mention KMOX and the DGS.
You think about retirement, but do you have a plan for an income in retirement? Income is the outcome that matters. Sachs Financial is the home of the Retirement Compensation Plan. At Sachs Financial, they want to help you live your best life now and in retirement. Tell Sachs Financial what you'd like your retirement to look like and let them help you build a roadmap to get there. Sachs Financial. That's SACHS, Sachs Financial. At retiresafestl.com.
Attention contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring. We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open a location in South County.
Visítenos para todos sus necesidades de pisos, como tablones de vinilo, láminas de vinilo, laminados y una gran selección de carpeta.
Celebrate our grand opening. Buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at $2.99. Get 1 square foot free.
Sí, compre un pie de madera dura en stock y obtenga un pie cuadrado gratis.
Come see us at 13520 Tesson Ferry Road or anytime in Hazelwood, Missouri or O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products, and we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-952-1155. That's 800-952-1155.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
It is another Blues game day. The Blues are taking on the Montreal Canadiens today. The Blues right now coming off a win over Buffalo yesterday by a final of 3-1. The Blues have won 6 of 7. They own one of the 2 wild card spots in the Western Conference. They're tied with Nashville with 56 points, but they have 2 games in hand with Nashville right now. And they're playing well. I mean, the line of Robert Thomas with Pavel Buchnevich and Jordan Kyrou is not only a good line, but Thomas is playing lights out right now. He is playing like the all-star that he was in Toronto. Jake Neighbors, who had 2 goals yesterday, he now has 17 goals. That's as many as Thomas has, although Thomas has a whole bunch of assists, 36 of them to get him into a great spot, and Neighbors has 4 assists. Shen and Kapanen are on that line with Neighbors. Brandon Saad, Kevin Hayes, and Sammy Blais, they will hit you, and they won't apologize for it, and so will Alexei Toropchenko, Oscar Sundqvist, and Nathan Walker. And then the defense, without Falk, without Perunovic, has been admirable. I mean, Leddy and Parayko Parayko's playing the best hockey he's played maybe in his career. Krug and Kessel, Scandella and Rosen. That's a projected lineup with Jordan Bennington in net. 33 saves yesterday for Joel Hofer. And again, great play right now by Robert Thomas. With that and more, here is Coach Drew Bannister just moments ago with the media in Montreal.
Well, I just think we're continuing to stick with, keeping things, tight, not trying to force things too much. We still have tendencies in our game where, offensively we're forcing things and it causes some trouble. But, the secondary chances around our net, I think we've done a real good job of cleaning up that, collapsing around our net, keeping things to the perimeter for the most part, and, protecting our slot. Our power play's been better, and our PK's been good too when we needed it.
It's your first visit in Montreal, so we'll force you to repeat.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge when you're taking a role in the middle of the season? I guess you don't want to change everything. What's the biggest?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I wasn't looking to come in and blow things up with this group. I think the basis was put there. I think some of the things were just in the habits and details of our game. Accountability was another thing, and I think I was lucky enough that I got to coach 11 or 12 of these players coming through the American League. So there was a good understanding with these players of what the expectations for me would be for, practice and games. Over this time now, it's, I've been able to get, more comfortable with the veteran players and then get an understanding of what the expectations. So, I think, that took some time, but I'm starting to see, a more complete game and a more willingness to, play the way we need to have success moving forward.
How many times did you play here as a player?
Geez, I don't know, but it'll be the first time I have to walk across the ice. So I've slipped a few times in different rinks, that's for sure.
How would you just describe Robert Thomas' impact on that club?
Yeah, Robbie's been, since I've been here, he's played like an all-star, but, I think there's still a lot more for Robbie to give for this hockey team. And, certainly, we'll go as far as he wants to take us. He's a good hockey player for us, and we're going to need him to play big minutes and play really well for us. He sees tough matchups with his line mates too. But, he's played well, but I still think there's room for growth in his game.
Both Hofer and Bennington, what's kind of jumped out to you the most since Christmas? Pretty much.
They've both played extremely well. They've when we've bent, they've been there to keep us in games. You look at last night, the save that Joel made, on our PK there in the second period after they tied it up 1-1. Like that was a big save for us to keep us in that hockey game when we weren't playing very well in the second. And then we were able to kind of settle it down in the third and get back to our game. But they've both given us saves when we needed it. When other teams pushed, gave us the ability to kind of keep ourselves in games and settle things down.
In Montreal, so is it bad to be here on a back-to-back, or it might be a good thing?
I think for us, it's just getting back to work. Like we had that long break. We had 2 skates before we played in Buffalo. There were some things that we had to clean up. I thought we responded well. We didn't play well against Columbus at all. So we had a good response in the first period. Didn't like our second period, but we thought we played really well in the third period. So I think it's good for us to get back to work here today. And, with, the time, head off between the games. We played a 1:00 game and we get another 1:00 game here. We should be well rested and ready to go.
That is Drew Bannister, the head coach of the St. Louis Blues, the interim coach. But don't worry, I think he's going to be the coach when it's all said and done. Craig Berube was the interim coach when he raised the Stanley Cup. I think the coaching search ended that day. So Drew Bannister is doing a terrific job, and he answered the gentleman's question for Montreal about that very thing, that he knew that they were going to have a number of AHL players that he had experience with, knew how to get them going the way he wanted. So did Doug Armstrong. And it's been so far the correct move by the Blues, and we'll see what goes forward here, but they're playing more consistently, and they're playing some good hockey right now. The Chiefs and the 49ers, Super Bowl 58 is upcoming. Next hour, we go all Super Bowl. We're going to start things off with a visit with longtime NFL referee Joe LaRue. Hancock and Kelly did a terrific job on this, and I wanted to replay it for you on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday Morning. It's really good. It gives you an insight as to what is going on the field, the precise moments, the intensity, the focus that must be there for officials, and some of the rules that do take place and things that happen over the course of a game that have to be enforced in an NFL game. I think you'll find it to be a fascinating listen. The one and only Kurt Warner, the Hall of Famer, visiting with Joe Roderick, who is there for us on KMOX's Credential in Las Vegas. He will talk to Kurt right here on KMOX. That'll be around 11:30. And then at 11:40, our celebrity picker, president of McKelvey Homes, Jim Brennan. We talk things over with his son, Phil, the three of us, a roundtable discussion on Super Bowl 58. And I mean everything, not just the game, but we'll talk about Taylor Swift as well. That is here on Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX. We're doing that in the 11 o'clock hour to get you ready for the game. What are you serving at the party tonight? We're going pizza. We haven't done that in a long time. We're going pizza. Join us next hour after the news on KMOX.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
You know the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Stacey Lynn. You probably already know this, but there's a big game happening today. CBS's Jared Hill is in Las Vegas.
Ahead of kickoff, Las Vegas is buzzing.
Energy built up, ready to let it out. Just excited.
What are you most excited for?
The game, the party, the atmosphere.
The San Francisco 49ers take on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a rematch that's been 4 years in the making. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, of course. You can watch on CBS and Paramount Plus. Another big party this weekend's in New Orleans, where it's Mardi Gras, and one of the biggest parades is happening today.
It's Maka Sunday. And you've just worked your butt off for 12 months
and it's finally here.
After 12 months of hard work, the crew of Bacchus is planning ahead just in case it rains on their parade.
As long as it's raining and there's not a lot of wind and there's not thunder and lightning, just like a football game, we're going to play.
That's the captain of the crew of Bacchus, Carter Brennan, with WWL's Amanda Strahan. At a campaign rally in Conway, South Carolina yesterday, former President Trump said he warned NATO allies he would not protect them from a potential invasion by Russia if they were delinquent on payments.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
Nikki Haley responding to those comments on CBS.
Don't take the side of a thug who kills his opponents. Don't take the side of someone who has gone in and invaded a country.
Haley's holding a campaign rally this afternoon in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Now to the Israel-Hamas war. Prime Minister Netanyahu told ABC.
Victory is within reach. We're going to do it. We're going to get the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions in Rafah, which is the last bastion, but we're going to do it. And in this, I agree with the Americans. We're going to do it while providing safe passage for the civilian population so they can leave.
His plan is to have Palestinians move out of Rafah immediately so he can send ground forces in. A tragedy on the way to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. A helicopter crashed near Nipton, California. NTSB's Michael Graham on the investigation as to what may have caused it to go down.
It was reported by witnesses that there was rain with some wintry mix. We currently have a meteorologist working on our team, and we are working to analyze and get the exact weather conditions at that time.
All 6 people on board the helicopter died. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:03, we have mostly sunny skies and 44 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, a Saturday evening crash in South St. Louis County has injured 4 people and killed 1.
County police say a motorcycle ran into the back of a car on Kingston Drive. That's near the northern tip of Jefferson Barracks Park. The man on the motorcycle died from his injuries. 4 people inside the car were taken to hospitals for treatment of minor injuries. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
A bill giving the city power to take back land left to fall apart by developers has been finalized by the Board of Aldermen. Rasheen Aldridge says the bill should lead to a more community-led effort regarding future development.
We got a lot of things in the bill that, one, protects residents, ensure residents don't get gentrified out, and kind of create community benefits.
Attorneys representing developer Paul McKee and Northside Regeneration have pushed back against the bill. They argue it unfairly targets him, even though the bill does not mention him. The final vote comes this week. Lambert Airport plans to move ahead with projects like a new de-icing pad to make sure your flight takes off during winter storms. Other upgrades include new airfield maintenance and facilities that are related to such things. Lambert Director Rhonda Hamdenbrugge.
Those were projects that we needed to move along just for the long-term survival of this airport, whether we actually do the consolidated terminal or not. So we broke those projects out.
The $320 million in bonds approved by airport commissioners last week are backed by the airlines. Missouri residents lost millions of dollars to scams last year.
The Federal Trade Commission says it received more than 34,000 fraud reports from Missourians. Scammers walked away with $88.7 million. The FTC says a few of the top cons include identity theft, fake credit bureaus, and online shopping scams. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Your weather forecast, temperatures getting a little bit warmer, not much, but we're staying in the sun/cloud zone most of the day. Then it's going to turn cloudy overnight, and that's when we get a mix of rain and wet snow, so we could have some slush in the morning. Temperatures getting into the upper 30s. Plenty of sun on Tuesday, 52, and again, we're warming up close to 60 degrees by midweek. It is 44 in St. Peters and in Florissant and downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Hey, welcome back to KMOX. I am excited about the next half hour
You
we're
and me
going to
both,
spend
buddy.
with you. We
You
have
and me
Joe
both.
LaRue, a good friend of mine. He's a former NFL referee. He's also a lawyer here in town. He's a golfing buddy of mine, and he's one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet, and kind enough to come in studio today. Joe, welcome to KMOX.
Thank you for having me. I'm surprised you would do it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? This is the greatest interview ever.
So you were an NFL referee for what, 2 decades?
Yes, that's right. 20 years.
And you have reffed a Super Bowl.
I did. Super Bowl 47.
And if I'm correct, that was what, San Francisco and Baltimore. That's the lights out Super Bowl, right?
And the Harbaugh game. Both coaches were Harbaughs.
Right. And for what, 45 minutes, the game was stopped because
About
you guys lost
35,
power?
37 minutes. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you'd never experienced anything like that before, right?
No, and you know, when you're standing down in the darkness in the New Orleans Superdome, I mean, you're on the floor, you're like, boy, this is really weird. And initially they thought this might be,
Terrorism,
terrorist,
yeah.
And then they figured out it was some, mechanical thing and told us they'll take us this long to get it fixed. And that's what happened.
You spent 20 plus years in the NFL. I see you have a Super Bowl ring. How many Super Bowls did you ref? And how do you get picked to be a Super Bowl referee?
Well, I worked one, and I'm very happy and proud to have had that one. And it's based on your grading or performance. I mean, they grade every play of every game during the year and rank you. And, theoretically, if you finish number one, you work the Super Bowl.
And that grading, so who does the grading? The officials themselves? Is it the NFL, or who actually performs that?
It's the league. We have supervisors in the officiating department, and every week, one of them is assigned to look at every play in the game, at every official on every play, and then with comments, good and bad, and also to grade every flag or every play where they think there should have been a flag and one was not thrown, and that's how they do it.
You have, I think, as difficult a job. You were a lines judge, right?
I was a deep official, deep line. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're covering inbounds, out of bounds, but you're also covering a lot of downfield pass interference calls, which are in so many games determinative of who wins and who loses. The pressure of that has got to be immense.
Well, to put it in perspective, there is no yardage to that. It's the spot of the foul, so it could be a 50-yard penalty. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a game changer.
And going into that, you see, how often are you the only official that sees something and nobody else sees it? And how are you on an island at that
Fortunately,
point?
that's very rare.
Yeah.
Normally, we all overlap each other in terms of coverage and what we're looking at. When the ball goes in the air, then everybody goes to the players where the ball is. Okay. As opposed to, I have responsibilities on certain people at the line of scrimmage when the plays start, but once the quarterback throws a ball, everybody should be looking over in that area, assuming you're downfield.
So we all have the benefit on Sundays of slow motion, about 30 different angles. Now that you're a fan like us, you're watching the games on a Sunday, and we all consternate over blown calls or what people perceive to be blown calls. Now, as a retired NFL referee, when you watch the game, do you feel like you guys are getting it right most of the time?
I know we are. I mean, how many times do they change it? I mean, there's so much more replay review now, and then how often do they come back and say that they reversed the call? But again, that's one thing that's good about replay is that they have the ability to catch obvious mistakes and correct it right there. And as you're pointing out, John, I mean, on a pass, I might have half a second to recognize it. I got to know where the ball is. I got to know where the player is, the contact, and what
where the defender's head is.
In some plays, I got to know whether the quarterback was in the pocket when he threw the ball. I mean, there's all kinds of things you got to take into consideration.
Is there ever the thought of, I think I saw something, I'll call it and replay can fix it? Or if you didn't, if you have no certainty?
I have no respect for you if you officiate that way. You do not officiate to replay. You were paid, you're hired to make the call on the field. And if replay changes it or comes in, well, that's what their job is. Okay. But do I think that there are officials that do it? Yeah, I do. And I think that's a mistake.
That is. I want to take you to one particular incident that happened late in the season. It was consequential. It was the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys late in the game. And the Lions are going for two to win the game. It was a 1-point game, and rather than kick the extra point, they were going for 2. And they had a tackle eligible play that came in. The referee apparently misunderstood which player was eligible on the play, and it apparently blew the call. How did you know the call I'm talking about?
Yeah, and the referee did not blow the call, and I don't think he mistakenly did. The Detroit coach set that up to trick the defense, in terms of who was going to be eligible, wearing an ineligible number, okay? So he sent 2 or 3 players to the referee, which that never happens unless you're reporting. I mean, that was a design situation, and he admitted after the game was over later on that's what they were doing, trying to fool the Cowboys. But at the same time, that same player that the referee reported had been reporting to him the whole ball game, not the other guy, okay? I mean, there's some issue as to whether he got it right from the guy, but the bottom line is you'll see the players going to the referee, reporting to him, and he announced the guy that talked to him, okay? And again, their goal was to fool the Cowboys into thinking that one guy's, but that is not part of the rules.
Well,
that is not the intent of the rule.
Because in fact, the referee announces publicly that number 68 is eligible.
Not only does he announce it, he points at him, and then every official on the field will point at him too to acknowledge that this is the guy. And you have to tell the defense that's the guy that's reporting as ineligible. Well, I can tell you right now, the whatever team it was, Detroit knew what they were doing when if in fact he had gotten the wrong information, they could have corrected it.
Right.
They didn't want to correct it. And that's why. My first reaction when I saw the play is, how did that guy get so open? Nobody was covering him.
Right.
Well, you know why? Because they didn't know he was declared as ineligible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my first reaction to it. Something's wrong here.
That's great. I mean, that is a great description of what happened. And that, I mean, thinking back on that play, that's exactly how it happened.
Well, think about Quinn, Dan Quinn, whatever the defensive coordinator for, he's one of the best coaches in the league. You think he wouldn't have covered a guy? I mean, there's no way he would have had the guy covered if he knew he was reporting as ineligible.
So obviously we're going to talk about the Super Bowl when we come back in the next segment, but give us a little flavor of what an NFL referee's life is like. If you're reffing a game at noon on Sunday, when does your week start and when does it end?
Well, I mean, there's something going on throughout the week. As if you check with my law partners, they'll be happy to let you know that I was practicing football law. But the bottom line is, as soon as the game's over, you're going to be on the plane watching the video of the game and having a cocktail. But my point is, you do that, and then you got to file an online report by Monday. You did a paper report after the game. You have an online report by Monday. By Monday night, Tuesday, you're going to have grades back, and you have to file responses to them. Okay, you've got a rules test that goes out every week that you got to work on and have it ready before you get to the game. So you got the grading process 3 days, and then Thursday and Friday, it's kind of like you look at training tapes, scouting tapes of the teams, receivers, players, whatever. You're normally on a Sunday game, you're flying out Saturday morning, and unfortunately with St. Louis, that means I got to connect everywhere. So I'm out at 4:00 in the morning, and I get to the site, and we have a 3-hour pregame meeting in the afternoon, and then normally I try to get to the room, and I used to watch college football, but those games are so long now I can't stay up. And they got so much replay, it's ridiculous. And then I got to be at the stadium next morning 3 hours before the game. You got pregame responsibilities, and then you work the game, and then it all starts all over again.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, you're out there with world-class athletes. You've got to keep yourself in some good shape. I mean, you guys on average are what, 40 to 65 years old or so?
I mean, that's the range, 40 to 65. I actually almost hit 70 when I left. I think they decided that it was one thing for me to be 2 decades behind these world-class athletes, but not 4.
Joe LaRue is our guest, a former NFL official, and what a joy it is to have him. He's going to stick around after this short break.
Life is challenging and ever-changing, so take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com for our special offer, a financial freedom membership for only $297. That's 60% off the regular price. Enter promo code 2024. Learn to retire through real estate investing from the best. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Learn the path to retiring at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get the power of doing it right. Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget.
The power of experience.
We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get
the power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get when you work with trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is Debbie Monterey, and selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. And that's why having an expert on your side is crucial. Other agents know that some sellers will choose the agent that tells them the highest price they can get for their home, and that can be a dangerous strategy. Most of the time, it ends up being empty promises. Gloria Liu doesn't make empty promises. She makes guarantees in writing. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it. Guaranteed in writing. So pick up the phone and call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty.
Fall in love with the Sunbury, Lombardo Home's newest decorated display. Grand opening at the Streets of Caledonia in O'Fallon on Saturday, February 17th. The Sunbury is a spacious 2-story home featuring 4 bedrooms, a generous 2nd-story loft, and an open concept first floor. Join Lombardo for some Valentine's-themed goodies and experience the latest design trends, as well as the luxury finishes and quality features Lombardo has to offer. The Streets of Caledonia is located north of Highway DD, west of 64. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youreyedoctor.com.
Seeing the world around you is so important. So take care of your eyes. And why would you trust them to just anyone? The best doctors to see for your best vision are the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Runja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, things like dry eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma. They do LASIK surgery at Ophthalmology Associates. And yes, they can check your eyes to see if your prescription is still the right one for you, for your glasses and contacts. This will be the most thorough eye exam that you have ever had in your life, because really your eyes are a window into the health of the rest of you. So please take care of your vision and see the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, or make your appointment today at youreyedoctor.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Visiting with Joe LaRue, former NFL referee, local labor attorney here in St. Louis. And Joe, you've refereed one Super Bowl. We're going to have this Super Bowl now in Las Vegas. Gambling is a part of the NFL, and that's something that they've had a very scrupulous eye on in the past, correct?
I mean, it's every year when we have our summer clinic, I bet they spend an hour with us just going over all they'll explain the lines, gambling and all that, and they just make it, very clear. And it's in our contract that I couldn't even go to Las Vegas without getting clearance. That was just, in business or whatever. And, I could never go into a hotel with a sports book. It was clearly understood that you didn't go anywhere near that. And now you've got in-house, in-stadium, betting that you can do. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
and Vegas.
Is there a concern for the integrity of the game?
I think there has to be, and there's a strong concern, and I can tell you the league takes it very seriously.
So here's my question. I love technology. I'm as you know,
Michael, you're a tech guy.
I'm up to the very latest of the new technology.
Doesn't know his password.
We got the replays out there where you got, the camera, the slow-mo, you can watch the guy. And they even paint the first down line on the screen there for me. You got yellow line where you got to reach that yellow line, which they call an estimate on the TV, whatever. But all of this technology, Joe LaRue, in football and all of sports, and yet it's 4th and inches, and the ball is placed down on the field, and out come 2 60-year-old gentlemen with a couple of sticks and a 10-foot chain link. That seems to me to be a little less, I don't know, in this technological age, that's a little archaic, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it'll change eventually. They'll go to something. I mean, they've got so many, but they can fix it now with replay on cameras, depending on whether they can spot the ball. You know, the thing is, the first call by the official is subjective. It's what they think it is. And you can't always see the ball, although you're not supposed to call anything until you know. But they can pick that up. And but that is the mechanic, the routine for figuring out whether it's first down is when you put the ball on the ground and stretch the chains, and sometimes they're older guys.
So is the spot of the ball, do you start the 10 yards from the front tip of the football? So the front tip of the football starts your 10-yard gain.
And all it's got to do is break the plane of the line to gain line, and again, that's somewhat subjective. I think I don't even know whether they started putting something in the balls, but even that, because depending on whether the ball's in the front or this way or whatever.
Well, it's when the knee goes down. I mean, there's so many moving parts.
That determines when the player is down.
Right.
The question is where the ball
was.
People don't understand that it's all about where the ball is
Yeah.
when you decide that the play's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's probably old fashioned, but who knows? I think they'll probably modernize.
Any rule change that you think would be helpful in football?
Yeah, but I mean, they're more technical things. Like you have an example. No, I can't think of anything that I would change right now. I do think that the fact that the game is all about the safety of the players is the most important consideration.
You have obviously are a fan now. Would you consider yourself a fan? You watch the games? Do you root for teams?
I watch the games, and there's one team I like more than others. I try not to advertise it.
Sure.
But, and I'm a fan of certain coaches and players and things like
That's
that.
what I was going to ask you. You know the human beings who are playing in this Super Bowl, whether it be Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes or Kyle Shanahan or the McCaffrey. You know these. Are good humans?
Yeah, when I say know them, I interact with them, and whatever. Especially like a guy like Coach Reid. I mean, he was coaching in Philadelphia when I started 20 years ago, so I got to know him pretty well. And I had his, when you go to training camps with these guys, you spend all day with them, and it's not like, I mean, if Coach Reid saw me, would he know me? Yes. It's not like you have an off-season relationship. But my point is, when you work with the same coaches and players so many times, you get to know each other.
Yeah. These humans that we see on television are huge, right? And they're going at each other 1,000 miles an hour. Everything seems to be fair in the NFL. Is that their personality, or is that just during a game?
That's during a game. I mean, there is something that happens to these players when they take the field and play the game that it's hard to describe. I mean, the hitting, the size, the strength, the speed, and everything are. That was probably the most amazing difference when I went from college ball to the pros. And these guys are doing this for a living. I mean, this is for their families and whatever. So they take it dead serious and they play to win.
Just have a second. Better game today than it was 20 years ago, or about the same?
I don't think you can compare them because, when I watched, the Green Bay Packers in the 70s or 60s and 70s and Pittsburgh Steelers, they were all great teams for their time. Do I think, I mean, Dan Dierdorf and I've flown together a number of times and we've talked about that. It's different. I mean, Dan Dierdorf is one of the top offensive linemen, Hall of Fame lineman, and he was 275, 280. These guys are 375, 380. So imagine the difference.
That's Joe LaRue, former NFL official, Super Bowl 58 on Sunday.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
McKelvey Homes is offering up to $100,000 savings on their designer market homes and special McKelvey financing of 5.99%, 30-year fixed, or 4.875% in first year with our 2-1 buydown. At Inverness at Bryan and Feisey, we have our luxurious LaSalle display home for sale. This professionally decorated ranch is loaded with all the most popular features. Hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today for a complete listing.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
How's this fancy 10-year light bulb fizzle in 5 years? Be reminded, Jerry Kelly said families did double time at home the last few years. 10 years of light bulbing in just 5? Probably true for all home gizmos. Sounds like something the peoples should know, you know? Peoples, if it's been a few years since your last furnace or AC check and you're like most, then it might behoove you to schedule a check-em-up sooner than later, in case what behooves you actually moves you, that is.
JerryKelly.com. Tiger fans, it's time for Mizzou women's basketball. Some of the nation's top matchups will take place this season in Mizzou Arena, and you don't want to miss any of the action. Check out all the upgrades to Mizzou Arena while being a part of the best home court advantage. You make the difference, so get your tickets today by visiting mutigers.com/WBBtips. MIZ.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Some people bring joy wherever they go, some whenever they go. Mark Twain found humor all around. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Humor. Pass it on from PassItOn.com.
Pass it on. You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Who better to start off our day than the Hall of Famer, the Super Bowl winning MVP from the St. Louis Rams. He is Kurt Warner. Kurt, good to see you.
Good to see you. How you doing? Enjoying the week?
You know what? It's been interesting. This is my first Vegas experience too.
Oh, really?
So
first
yeah,
time you've been here. Okay.
Yeah. So
first Vegas Super Bowl, first
right.
Vegas experience.
So
okay,
taking it all in.
Trust me, it's going to get crazier than this. But,
it absolutely
I'm
is.
excited to see what and how Vegas handles it. Always enjoy coming to Vegas. There's so many different things to do, but now you tie in the Super Bowl, it's going to be crazy.
You are here today with Big Game Blitz, Bingo Blitz, and Kurt, you're going to have to talk about what exactly we are looking for in the game, but essentially you, quarterback Kurt Warner, are hoping that the quarterback gets sacked in the game on Sunday?
Don't let those guys know that, because if I was in the game, I probably wouldn't be promoting this particular thing. But here's the thing. I grew up playing bingo. And there was nothing better than when you hit bingo and you raised your card and you had that bingo moment and took home whatever prize that was. And so, to me, Super Bowl is so much about that, having your bingo moment. You'll remember back in Super Bowl 34, I got my bingo moment, throwing that touchdown pass. And you always remember those iconic plays in the Super Bowl. So we're kind of celebrating that. Who's going to have their bingo moment this weekend, Sunday afternoon in the game? But we're hoping somebody at home has a bingo moment. So you mentioned it, Bingo Blitz. Free app. Go download the app, sign up for an account, all free. And then if one of these defenses sets a Super Bowl record with 8 sacks in this Super Bowl, then somebody at home will have their bingo moment, raise their card, and win $1 million. So kind of tying in my childhood, we're tying in the Super Bowl, we're tying in Vegas, all together, hoping that somebody at home gets their bingo moment as well.
Next year is going to be 25 years since
Wow.
that Super Bowl, and it seems like every year. I mean, it's got to be frustrating for you with the relationship that you have with Torrey, knowing that we are still talking year after year about whether or not he is going to get his name called tonight.
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm hoping it's way overdue. I mean, I went through the process, and I understand the process that it is, and I understand all the great players that are out there. It's just hard for me to find any reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame. Right. I mean, all you got to do is pull out a stat sheet and compare it. I mean, you're an all-decade player in a game that's been around just, it's amazing to me that for some reason he continues to be overlooked. I'm hoping this is the year because it's well overdue. Isaac had to wait longer than he should have to get in. Torrey's had to wait longer than he should have.
Orlando had to wait. I mean, the fact that he had to wait more than a year.
I mean, exactly. So it doesn't always make sense on why, but you understand there's great players out there, and Torrey will have his moment. It just seems to be sooner rather than later, and so we're all hoping that it's finally comes to pass tonight. And we can celebrate with them.
And there's, they keep adding wide receivers onto the list now. I mean, you keep getting these guys, and next year another great one, Larry Fitzgerald, will be added to the list. And you keep looking at, when you see these young wide receivers now in such a pass-heavy NFL, and they're setting stats, and it seems like Torrey's name always keeps popping up, like best numbers since, and you see a list of 3 names, and Torrey's name is on that for how good he was.
And he's still in the record books for different things, but you're right. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is you got to kind of take it by era as opposed to just look at overall numbers. I mean, and oftentimes the biggest thing to me when it comes to Hall of Famers is you watch guys play and you say, okay, was that guy the guy? Was that guy a difference maker? Because even with the stats, not only is it across eras, but let's also remember that Marshall Faulk was in the backfield and Isaac Bruce was on the other side. And so when you talk about numbers, a lot of these guys are putting up numbers because they're the guy.
Yeah.
They're getting targeted 150, 175 times a season, where our guys could only catch 80 passes because the other guy was catching 80 and the other guy was catching 80. And so I think they get hurt a little bit because we were so good as a team that, and Torrey's numbers still stack up with anybody that's ever played, but they would have been even greater. They would have been even more dynamic and historic at that time had they not played together. And so I think all those factors go into it. But again, bottom line is he deserves to be in. He was that kind of player, and he was that kind of player for a long, long time. Let's just hope that it happens sooner rather than later.
You mentioned the record books. I can't remember what I was watching the other day. Let's just say it was NFL Network. And I saw it come out, the Brock Purdy, latest draft pick to start a Super Bowl, and then on the bottom it said does not count Kurt Warner because you weren't drafted.
Right.
Have you talked to Purdy about what it's going into this and the success that he has had being overlooked by so many the way you were?
Just a little bit. So I've known Brock for a couple years. We don't have a really close relationship. I talked to him, interviewed him last week, so we talked a little bit about that. But I think he's just got a good perspective on it. When you're in the midst of it, we make a big deal of it because everybody out there is talking about it. But usually as a player, it's like, whatever, I get it. I get it. I was undrafted. I worked in a grocery store. I understand why people might have doubts or why, people are going crazy that I'm here because I shouldn't be. I understand that. But it didn't affect me. I didn't go into it going, well, I'm just a stock boy. I'm not supposed to be here. I knew I was good. I knew I could play. And I focused in on those kinds of things. And that to me is, just talking to Brock, that's exactly what he's doing. He's like, I appreciate the situation I'm in. I appreciate the talent that's around me. I appreciate that I got the opportunity. And now I'm doing what I have to do with that opportunity. And so that to me is the perspective. You continue to focus on you and what you believe and the confidence that you have in you. And you don't listen to Mr. Irrelevant or the stock boy or the undrafted guy. None of that matters on Sunday. Nobody cares where you were drafted, when you were drafted, or anything beyond this. It's all about what you do in that moment.
Well, hopefully tonight, I know that it would mean a lot to you to get another one of your wide receivers in.
Would, yes.
Hopefully we get that good news, and then I know you're going to be on the game, on the call on Westwood One coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, I hope this is the night for Torrey, and then talk about a bingo moment. That'd be a huge bingo moment for him. But yes, We got NFL Network, 8.5 hours on Sunday morning, and then I'll be calling the game on Westwood One after that. So it's a long day, but it's a fun day, and I can't wait.
Kurt, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Valentine's Day is coming up here real quick. So if you're like me, do what I do. I buy my special gal. I'm just saying, it's just a recommend. It's just what I do, or what I would recommend that you could do as the best gift that will always keep on giving. Buy your better half a new furnace or an air conditioner. I know. Sounds kind of crazy too if you're not a crazy type person, but give it some time. Think about it. Let it soak in. Yeah. See the smiles on your loved ones. There we go. Here's the number that you need. Save it. It's Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest and the only one, Missouri and Illinois, is 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
St. Louis, are you ready for the return of the Billiken Blizzard? The Billiken Blizzard returns to Chaffetz Arena Friday, February 16th, when the Billikens host VCU at 6 p.m. All fans in attendance will get a Billikens Blizzard t-shirt, courtesy of SLU Online and Kingham OX. Plus, enjoy the halftime performance of Superstars, the Billiken Blizzard. Tickets on sale now for the game, and all the details can be found on the events page at kinghamox.com/events.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Every 2 weeks, you get a paycheck. You count on it, and you plan your life around it. But what happens in retirement? Sure, there's Social Security, but that's not enough. How can you create a paycheck in retirement? Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you by creating a custom retirement plan and how you can create a guaranteed income stream for retirement just like you were working. To find out more about guaranteed income in retirement, attend one of our upcoming events, February 22nd or February 27th at the Twisted Tree. These events are complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services offered through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor firm. All Insurance Group, LLC, and IPW are not affiliated firms. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Insurance and annuity product guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $3 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. That's 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. Program and services not available in all states.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
And a key block by the left guard, Tom Ackerman. And right here, let's go downstairs to Bonus.
Marv, if you remember that big run Robert Holcomb had on the first drive, one of the guys responsible on help busting him loose was Tom Ackerman.
Tom Ackerman up front, and this is a unit that has played very well. A good night for Eddie George, 21 carries, 74 yards. The left guard, Tom Ackerman, with the block that set him free. It's a first down.
Yes, indeed. It is that time. It is time to make some NFL picks. Welcome back, Tom Ackerman, the radio Tom Ackerman, back with you. Always appreciate the offensive lineman making way for us as we get ready to make our picks for Super Bowl 58. Sports on a Sunday morning, wrapping up with a celebrity guest picker. It is the president of McKelvey Homes, Jim Brennan, a great sponsor here on KMOX Radio with us. How are you, Jim?
Good morning, Tom. It's great to be here on Super Sunday.
Good to be with you. Sports on a Sunday morning. I know the tradition in your home and your car, correct?
That's correct.
And you have a tradition on Super Bowl Sunday of doing what? How do you celebrate today?
Well, we will watch the commercials and some of the game.
Okay. All right. Some of the game.
No, we'll watch a game. I enjoy the commercials, you know.
I do too. We somewhat pay attention to the game in the house. Super Bowl parties. I will say that, by the way, your son Phil is here. And Phil, we appreciate you being with us. How are you doing?
Good, Tom. Thanks for having us.
It's good to have you. Sorry, sometimes Jim and I just we do this on the golf course.
I know. That's how it rolls. That's how my dad rolls.
We get a little
long enough.
We get a little
sidetracked for the ride.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
But Super Bowl parties, I used to really enjoy them, and then at some point, I said I can't pay attention to the game. Like the whole crowd in this house dies down and gets quiet during the commercials, but when the football is going on, I can't hear Nance, I can't hear Romo, I can't understand what's going on.
That may be good, not hearing Romo. You know, I don't know.
I don't know, but it is. I have to pay attention to the game. Do you not feel that way?
I enjoy watching it at home. Last year we went to Mike and Vicky Chabot's Super Bowl party for half, and then we left and we watched the last half at home.
I think a lot of people do that.
Today, I'm really excited about watching the Chiefs today and Taylor Swift, of course.
Of course. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan because my daughter is. My daughter, Erica, we actually saw her at Arrowhead.
Oh, wow.
I was very fortunate to see the second show, the Saturday show. Little did we know that this romance would come out of that weekend and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift would be dating. Taylor's going to be there. She got in apparently in Los Angeles, so from her show in Tokyo, so she's going to be there. I know that everyone's very happy to hear that.
Phil, I'm sure Megan and Olivia will be watching.
Yeah, they're very excited. I even found a little Taylor Swift prop bet sheet that they're going to fill out. So it has all these questions they can answer about Taylor Swift in the game. So I think everyone in my family will be engaged.
The Swift effect is real. I mean,
it's great, I think, for football.
I do too.
And for Taylor Swift.
It's definitely great for her. She's bigger than the NFL. She is. She is the biggest pop star on the planet and maybe the most recognizable star on the planet at this point.
So, Tom, let me ask you this. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
It changes. It changes. I would say for like the test of time, you know, I thought when she broke out with 22, it was a mainstream hit because I liked her when she was a country music star. But when she broke into the mainstream, that was a big hit off of her Red album. When Erica started becoming a Taylor Swift fan, and she's way, way bigger than I could ever be, she knew everything about her. She followed everything. And when we were able to go to the show, she knew every song. She knew I've never seen a show, and I've been to a lot, and I've seen the Grateful Dead. I've seen Jimmy Buffett. Maybe those are the only two that I could think of where they have a fan base that diehard, that into it, that understanding of everything that's going on. It's amazing. So I'm a fringe Swift fan from that standpoint. I'm not a Swiftie, but I understand the power of Taylor Swift. It's incredible. It's actually really good for the NFL. It's brought in a lot of new fans. I think the only thing, Phil, that we maybe get irritated with is that, you know, I've received about 50 emails from PR firms telling me about their romance, about how Kelce's jersey is like, I get it. Travis Kelce's jersey is the highest selling jersey. I understand. You don't have to hit me over the head with too much. It's not their fault. It's just that's our culture today, I guess.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think it's been great for the NFL and for Taylor Swift. who knows? I've seen a lot of weird thoughts about. I mean, is the NFL putting this on?
I know. I see that
this
too.
Concocted for growing the NFL.
That's another
for
layer.
another market that they haven't tapped into. It's that young female audience that they don't have. So I mean,
so is this really a conspiracy?
Isn't that funny how there will be another question out there that, and the real, like, I think a lot of our listeners actually have heard this, and some of them maybe have caught on to it, but it's just when something becomes that popular, it just grows like wildfire. I want to go back to your comment on commercials. How you're an advertiser. How impactful is it? I know it's a big price tag, but
it's great. I wish McKelvey Homes could afford a little 30-second commercial.
A 30-second local.
Tom, I got to tell you, your show has really helped us sell. And, last year was our 125th anniversary. So we celebrated by donating $1,898, which is, as you know, the year McKelvey Homes was formed, to a particular charity for every home we sold. And in 2023, we sold 112 homes. So we gave away $212,000 and some change to Cardinal Glennon Independence Center, the Dravet Syndrome Foundation, which you graciously have hosted our big fundraiser every year since inception, and then the St. Vincent de Paul Society. So, my parents taught me the importance of giving back to the community. And I have people all the time say, hey, I heard you on the radio. I heard you on the radio. And hopefully our efforts last year will help encourage other people to give. I'm very proud of Phil and his wife, Elizabeth, and our three wonderful grandchildren, Olivia, Duke, and Megan, who, as you know, had a little donut and golf ball sale in De Pere last year and raised some money. So they're carrying on the Brennan tradition of giving back, it's really what it's all about.
That is awesome. Love to hear that. And I will credit you with getting me more involved through that with Cardinal Glennon, with Independence Center. My wife went to the
that was great Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. I was calling a basketball game, or I would have been there.
We
as well.
Still have you on the hit list for dancing.
I know you do. Matt Slater hit me up for it this past year, wanted me to get involved with it. We had Matt on the air talking about it. What do you have in store for 2024 in terms of charities this time around?
Well, that was a one-year deal, our 125th anniversary, and Rose, Phil, and his brothers, Charlie and Patrick, and I have been talking about it, and we said, hey, that really worked. It was a great year for us. And so we decided to go ahead and extend it for our 126th anniversary, and we're going to give $1,898 to the Ronald McDonald House, which they're building a new facility, should open soon. Our friend Dan Harbaugh, you know him well, how great he is and the fine work. So we're happy to support that, which will help parents, family members of kids suffering, whether it's either Cardinal Glennon or St. Louis Children's Hospital, a place to stay while their children are recovering at the hospital. So we'll do that for the first quarter. And we're off to a good start already.
For every home that you sell?
Every home we sell for the first quarter, we'll do it to Ronald McDonald House this year.
So $212,000, did I hear that right, for last year?
That was last year. It was divided between those four charities, depending on how many homes that we sold. And we do that in addition to the other causes we celebrate. But, we're happy that we're able to do that. Last year started off really strong, and interest rates went up. Now they've come down some, and I'd like Phil to maybe talk about some of the promotions we've got going on now.
Absolutely. And before you do that, I wanted to give a quick little story leading into it, is that, I coach basketball. I coach 7th grade girls hoops. I've got a game here later today. And all I'm thinking about, even though we split our games yesterday, we won the first one, lost the second one. All I can think about is what could I have done better to win the second one, typical coach. But we had a practice during Christmas break. And we couldn't practice at our school because it was closed. So we practiced in Afton, Center, St. Louis. Nice spot. And on our way back, I told Audrey, I go, hey, let's duck into the preserve. And I want to show you this neighborhood. And she's 13 years old, very aware, loves to know how things are built and how neighborhoods are built. I thought it'd be a fun learning experience for her. And we sent her through there in the car with me, and I just let her explore it. She's like, wow, Dad, like, what is that? And I said, it's Tower T. That's the back of Tower T. You think about it, I could just walk and go hit balls, or I could walk over here and go to Ted Drew's and a mile away. You're basically in the city, South County technically, but you're in the city. Beautiful neighborhood. You got wildlife. You can go fishing. That's pretty neat.
It's a great location. We were so pleased the Archdiocese of St. Louis selected us for that site. And it's gone terrific for us. There's 4 villages there. McKelvey Homes is building in 3. And we do have our special promotion there for this year. So, Phil?
Yeah, what do you have there?
For the month of February, we are offering $20,240 in free options for not just the preserve, which is, like Tom said, right at Tower T and Resurrection Cemetery. Also, we have it at our subdivision Inverness in O'Fallon. That is right at Bryan and Feisey Road. We also offer it at Summerland, which is at Highway Double D in Summers, and our Wild Horse product, which is right by the old Chesterfield Mall. It's a huge development, and we're doing really modern looking homes we've never done before. It's a really cool site. If you've not been there or been by it, you should check it out. It's really, really cool. And that'll be good through February. So there you go.
That's awesome. Before we make our Super Bowl picks, baseball season begins after this game. So that's exciting. Your outlook on the Cardinals. How do you feel, honestly? How do you feel about the Cardinals here in 2024, Jim?
I've got mixed emotions. I did happen to hear some guy on the radio this morning on the way to 8 o'clock Mass talking about how he likes the bullpen, and defense is solid. The Cardinals are always there. They're perennial winners. They've got great leadership and management. And I think Goldschmidt's going to have a really good year. Arenado, the starting pitchers have been the question. And you should have Rose here. She watches every game. She knows more about it than me.
Yeah, ball. Well, Rose does know ball, though. She absolutely does. But you know what's going on. I wonder if they're going to extend Goldschmidt here before this season gets going. If they'll announce that in spring training. This is his last year under contract. We'll see. But Jordan Walker emerging, Mason Wynn, and the youth of this team. But it does come down to Goldschmidt and Arenado have to have solid MVP-like years if this team is going to be a major player. Pitching, though, is number one, as you said. Starting pitching has got to be great. Let's talk Super Bowl before we go here. Obviously, that's why we're here. We're talking Super Bowl picks, Chiefs and the 49ers. I'm going to ask both of you for your picks, and we do it with the point spread. So I'm not asking you to throw down money. I'm asking you for the benefit of our listeners who you think with the points or giving the points. Who is it? 49ers, a 2-point favorite against the Chiefs. Jim Brennan.
Got to go with the Chiefs. I think it's going to be 49ers 20 and Chiefs 24.
Why do you say that?
Well, because that's our promotion, Tom. $20,240 off. And Rose and I were talking this morning, and I said, boy, what do you think? I don't know the spreads. Maybe Patrick Brennan would know better than me, but I think it's 2024. I heard this smart guy on the radio today. He was wrong, though. He said it was 2023. I heard Tom Ackerman.
You and I are very close. I've got Chiefs beating the 49ers 23-20. I think this is a low-scoring, relatively speaking, game. I would take the under if you're betting that. I think the under, I'll look it up while you're talking, Phil, but I think it's 47.5. But I'll look it up.
It was 47.5.
Okay.
And I agree with that, Tom. I think the under, I think it's going to be low scoring. And I do. It looked like there was a late line move. So it looks like some big money came on San Francisco. So I think I'm going to go with the Niners, and it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be 24-14 Niners.
Okay. Oh, you got them holding them down to 14.
Low scoring game.
I mean, it could very well happen. The line, I still have it at 2 here, and the over-under at 47.5. I would take the under, and I've got the Chiefs +2. I really do think the Chiefs figure out a way to win this game. That's typically what they do. I think their defense wins it for them. I think they have a good ball-hawking secondary that can confuse, and Steve Spagnuolo is really good at this, blitzing and confusing, changing looks to Brock Purdy, who's an excellent quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes is experienced when it comes to things breaking down, and the 49ers will try to break things down. They don't have the reliable receivers they used to have. They have Kelsey and a couple of others, but mostly this is going to be Patrick Mahomes being innovative.
Yeah, he obviously a winner. He's had such a great track record of performing when he needs to. So he's just a fine leader.
It is going to be fun. Well, Phil, always great to see you and your family, and great to see this guy.
Yeah,
You got a
thanks,
good
Tom,
one
for
here,
having
buddy.
us. I've never been on the radio before, so
Wow, you did well.
thanks for having me.
Well, if I'm picking celebrity pickers, I got to get one of our big sponsors in here, and that's Jim Brennan, president of McKelvey Homes. Thank you for all you do for us, but mostly for the community. I mean, we appreciate you, of course, here at the station, but you're doing a lot for the community. You're saying and doing. You're doing exactly what you said you would do. You're giving money, every home that's sold, back to the St. Louis community charities, and the most recent development is that you're adding Ronald McDonald House to the mix.
We're happy to do it, Tom, and thank you for all you do for St. Louis. You're out there I don't know how Angie does it. You're out there every weekend.
I don't know.
I'm
either.
seeing something, and St. Louis is just a very philanthropic area. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Folks, enjoy your day. We thank you for joining us on Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. The game's at 5:30, but I don't know when your party starts. Probably already has. We'll have a great time with it. And tomorrow morning, Total Information AM will break it all down for you right here on KMOX.
Hi, it's Scott and Andrea from Best Buy Flooring with exciting news.
We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open in South County. To celebrate our grand opening, buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at the low price of $2.99 and get 1